Are you ready?
Good evening, welcome to the Range Report. We're coming to you from Wagga Wagga, the southern New South Wales city, hosting the New South Wales Amateur Pistol Association state titles, the 2020 version being run in January 2021 to make sure they can get it through, obviously due to COVID restrictions. Junior camp just wrapping up, so we'll make sure we talk to the coaching director David Banks to see how that went. 30 plus junior athletes here for the week in Wagga, getting intensive training competition, and they also shot in the state championship. So should be some intense competition across the weekend as we crown our state champions. Of course, the weather is going to play a factor. Temperatures predicted to push into the low 40s.
I am now a true athlete, okay? So if any questions, I am an athlete.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Stephen, how's your state titles going?
I'm loving it. I've had a lot of ups and downs, but however, it's generally very good. It's better than watching television. And I've shot a fantastic standard match. I shot a fantastic 3/4 of a rapid fire match. And I'm hoping to do extremely well in my center fire match.
Good on you, champion.
Thank you very much.
Someone who's always a happy smiling face at every competition.
A happy smiling face, and so far all is going very well.
Fantastic.
But it's only, what is it? Only 10 o'clock, nearly 10 o'clock.
So it can still go south from here, can it?
It's 2021.
It can still go very south for me.
Welcome along, Bruce Tuddy. You are running the competition here, the Wagga Wagga Pistol Club, for the 2020 State Championships being held in 2021, one of the only ones to get up.
Yes.
And of course you're also a member of the winning team in the Corona Quiz.
Accidentally. Yes, well, another little bit of fact. This is the 20th New South Wales State Championship that I've organised over the last 50 years.
Fantastic.
I think 12 of them have been ISSF states, so very complicated and pretty difficult. And I've also organised 4 national championships.
Yeah. And so having the championships here this year, obviously October last year, COVID lockdown, all the ranges are closed. I think it was scheduled to be in Sydney at CISC.
That's correct.
And you guys jumped in now and said, well, it's going to be at CISC later in this year for the 2021 championships.
Yes.
But let's hold the 2021.
Yes, the history of it was that there wasn't enough time. Well, it couldn't be held in October. So about November, when they relaxed the conditions a little bit, I think it was my idea that why don't we hold all the postponed states championships in January, February. And obviously the only time that you could do the ISSF would be in the Australia Day weekend, even though the holiday is not on a Monday or Friday. Nevertheless, you've got the holiday for the people to go home. So it should work. So anyway, we offered that to the CISC people, and because COVID was still on, there was not enough time for them to even book the range. So then we offered it to Cessnock, and they said, we're just not happy with COVID, we don't want to do that. And I started in the committee meeting at Wagga, we could do this, and someone said, that's enough, we agree.
And so you also ran, just finished yesterday, was a junior camp all week with around 30 young athletes all competing and training and shooting, getting in intensive training. That was pretty successful?
Well, that is a 1 in 100 year type event, because the junior camp is always in that week of January, and just coincidentally they've been having it in Sydney area, then a country area, Sydney area, country area, and it was our turn. So that's been on the books for 12 months or more. And then when this happened, it was only the Friday night that is coinciding. And they said, oh, well, we can't do it because it's a clash. And I said, so it's not really a clash, because we're only shooting air pistol Friday night. All right, the boys are going to be sleeping in the air pistol set, that's okay. We'll just move it back a bit earlier so that they're able to go to bed. And it has worked out magnificently, because we had 20 juniors on the line here yesterday morning, shoulder to shoulder. And
yeah, you had nearly 30 juniors overall over the week.
32, I think. Yep.
Who impressed you over the week? Who's really done some good work? And obviously, training's been difficult for them for the last 12 months.
Yes, we've had good skills. Evan did shoot very well. I think he broke grade. Olivia is yet to shoot, but she's master grade, so we've got.
She's here shooting in the opens.
No, both.
Olivia? She's shooting in
junior,
both.
Both juniors and both open. So
right.
That's where it gets complicated, the squad people. She's shooting those two events, so there's 4 times in and out. That's what makes organisers' job difficult.
Well, when you've got someone who's that good as a junior, can shoot in the opens, you've got to give them the opportunity to step up to the level against other competitors.
Well, the other juniors, when they explain to them about the Wednesday that we have entered you all in the New South Wales State Championship, the reaction was, have you really? For some of those juniors, it was their first competition shoot at all, and for almost all of them, it was their first state championship competition.
And does this open up some of those newer shooters to understand the pathway through to becoming a master grade shooter or a top class shooter? You've got to sort of come to these camps, you've got to learn a little bit on the way, learn off your peers, learn off people like yourself and other coaches, and then they can just progress up through the sport? Big learning curve to learn about gun check and the bib numbers and the control card, all the technical stuff that they don't learn until they become a competition shooter. So they've got it from square one, which will probably be a big help to them as they progress. A lot of the shooters, the young junior shooters, came down on a bus, so they've come down without their parents, an opportunity for personal growth for them, being away from the family, being in a group together, the camaraderie, the friendship, lifetime friendships being built. Oh yes, look, you've got to see it to believe it. If you can look out in the paddock here, we've got about 15 acres there where they're playing football and chasing one another, and it's a great family thing away from family. Yeah. And as you say, relationships have been built here that will last for years.
Yeah. 2020 Men's Air Pistol Final held in 2021.
guys, medalists in the 2020 New South Wales 10 metre air pistol final. Kerry got the gold medal, mate, well done.
Thank you very much.
Nathan, close final there, you got the second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pretty good one.
And how'd you go there in the final? Like bronze is a great finish.
That's good.
Tough conditions in here, fairly hot.
No, that's good, bro, but it's good. That's good.
Well done, guys. David Banks, the new coaching director for New South Wales Amateur Pistol Association. About 12 months in the job. Not much to do last year, unfortunately.
Well, plenty to do, but no, not being able to do very much of it.
Yeah, I guess planning and preparation, all those sort of times.
Yeah, a lot of it was spent, like everyone else, with Zoom meetings. We kept up with all of the juniors by Zoom meetings, and not being able to do one-on-one and to do collective meetings makes it really hard to do this job, because a lot of it is hands-on. You have to actually be there to see the shooter to be able to help them.
Yeah, obviously development of shooters and development of coaches, it's a pretty broad role.
Yes, huge role. I'm lucky, I've had some really great predecessors. Jan Ryan did the job for a long time, for big shoes to have filled.
Yeah. I guess she's still available to bounce ideas off and to help you and support you in your role.
Yeah.
It was the junior camp for 1 week. We had 30 plus juniors. That's very exciting.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was a full-on week, and there was not one that didn't have huge improvements. And I think the 30 plus says something about the fact that, there are still kids out there that want to shoot, that still want to be able to learn, and I encourage any kids from any disciplines. We're here to help.
You had kids that have obviously been in the sport for a little while and are progressing nicely, and you've had some quite newbies as well.
About half of this year's was newbies, and of course they're the ones that get the biggest improvements, but still the ones that we've had that are returnees, we've certainly had improvements out of them as well, culminating with shooting in the state titles for some of the new ones.
I heard that was a bit of an experience for them, gun check and going through the whole process and setup of competition, first time for some of them.
Oh yeah, the new ones had no idea what gun check was all about, and to do it at the state titles, one step down from a nationals, there's a fairly big rigmarole with it, but it all has to be done.
Oh, absolutely. It's safety first.
Yeah.
The pathway for the kids coming through, obviously you have a big hand in trying to develop them, and who impressed you through the week, and who do you think is getting close or has already stepped up to the national development level? Joe Kapitanov's the next pathway through to Vlad, the national coach?
Yeah, I already have two on Joe's squad, Evan Gatsias and Ellie Rudder.
Evan won his state championship?
Yes, they were here for the whole week, and both totally enjoyed themselves. They've both improved over the week, and I think Joe's got a task there, because they're just on their way up and up. During the week we had Sherry Blake come up,
world champion
in action pistol and two-time Bianchi Cup women's winner, and she started as a junior just the same as these guys.
And she's the sort of person who's very happy to give back, as most top line shooters are. They want to give back, they want to encourage the younger ones to come through. They want that next generation nipping at their heels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you see the pathway now? Obviously the national development role is a new one. Joe's been in the job for a couple of years, trying to help obviously state-based programs, trying to work closely with state-based programs and trying to help those athletes come through, and obviously Vlad above him working down and really setting the level and the tone of what needs to be trained and what needs to be taught.
Yeah, and I guess one of my jobs is to get those people up to that level, and not necessarily hand them off, but to encourage them to take that next step.
Yeah, which is fantastic. It's great for the kids to see that stepping stone through to then get access to the national coach and some of those national shooters. It's like aspirational for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So well done, ladies. First, second, third in your competition today, and Lara in a shootout with Sue. That was a pretty tight finish.
It was fun.
It was fun. And Olivia, well done in bronze medal. Again, tough conditions on the line.
It was incredibly tough, but it's always good shooting next to these girls, ladies.
We always have fun, don't we?
We do, yeah.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So Lisa joining us here from the ACT, you're at the Wagga Wagga State Titles. Now you're training to be a judge. What's that involve?
Training to be a judge is called a Judge C these days, and my role is to report to the Chief Judge, and I shadow the Judge Bs, and basically I work on the range, on the line, in RTS, gun check, equipment control, sorry. And basically practice what I've learned in theory, so make sure that I apply the right rules and yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing your practical part, you've done the theory side, obviously
Yes.
there's exams, you've got to understand the rules, you've got to understand the procedures, and now you're out there putting it to practice. How are you finding it?
Oh, really good. It's also about, with the practical experiences, putting in the hard yards and, you know, putting in the hours and realising that, you know, there's a lot of hours and a lot of work to be done, and, you know, seeing if people are a good fit for it, I guess. Yeah. But I really enjoy range work, I really enjoy being on the line. Doesn't really matter what activity I have to do, it's really enjoyable.
Well, take us through some of the things that you would do as a judge.
A judge watches the range officer to make sure, even though the range officer's in charge, they make sure that the range is running well. They go down to the line to make sure that the caller is doing the right procedures, calling the right shots, trigger checks at the end of the matches. Assist in the RTS office with scoring, following up with protests, and also assisting with the range officer if you need to give violations out, so penalties and that sort of thing if people are violating the rules.
So hopefully that doesn't happen too often,
No,
everyone's
not too
pretty
often.
safe. So when did you decide to become a judge? And obviously you've been a competitor, you've been in the sport for a while.
Yes, I've been around since the late 1970s when I was a child with my parents, so they were Victorian shooters, and then they became ACT shooters. And before I was a competitor, I actually always worked on the range. I loved being a patcher and a scorer even at the age of 12, so I always loved that aspect of it. I always wanted to be a range officer. I shot for a few years in the 80s, the early 80s. I gave up in about 84 because, you know, I was about 17 and I was doing other sports. I came back to the sport officially in 2017, where I was more interested in the competition side and started as a competitor. And then Jenny Gregory at my club, she was running range officer courses, so I took the opportunity to do a range officer. And then when I attended my first nationals in 2018, I got really interested in watching all the judges, and what really piqued my interest was going to the World Parachuting Championships in Sydney. In 2019, I was invited there by Jenny as a range officer. And when I watched all the judges in action and the jury and all the things they did, that's when I decided this is what I want to do. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a story repeated by a lot of people. You can be involved in pistol shooting, you can disappear, work, family, other sort of pressures, but you can always come back to it. And you found your way back.
Yeah, it's a sport that's got so much longevity. You know, it's a sport you can do it for the rest of your life, so long as you can still see and hold a gun. You know, it's there forever, so long as you follow the rules and all that sort of thing. Yeah, that's the beauty of pistol shooting.
And you just don't have sport without officials, so the officials, the
that's
judges are such an important part.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess our job is to make the competitors' life more easy. That's how I see it. You're there to make their lives easier so they can get on with the job with shooting as well as they can. Yeah, break records without any stress or anything like that.
Yeah, knowing they've got a team of people behind them supporting them, making sure everything's working correctly and safely, and they're doing the right thing, and they can just concentrate on competition.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well done, Kerry, there, winning the rapid fire.
Thank you.
And Bruce, you were tight for a while there, but you came through with the silver medal.
Thank you.
And Nathan, good shooting in the end all round, the bronze medal.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well done, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
So here the Norris family at the Wagga State titles, all shooting together, having lots of fun.
Yes, definitely.
Great weekend actually.
Yeah, good time. Never had a bad time at state titles.
It's great to be back after a few years away of shooting, so it's good.
Yeah, and you guys do a lot of other activities, like you're into your shooting, obviously. Alyssa's just been to the junior camp. How was that?
That was excellent. You learnt so much, met so many great people, and I got some very handy pointers.
Yeah, take it a bit further, and you guys involved in surf lifesaving, tennis, lots of other activities. It's a stretch on the weekly time frame to get to all the events.
We have a very tight calendar, and it sits on the. She has a very big calendar because she's involved in various committees.
I think I was up to 9 committees, and met sponsors and tennis. I was media manager, now official, and all that sort of fun stuff.
So we just bounce between it, but we sort of jack of all trades. We get there, don't we?
Yeah, we facilitate, train, surf life saving, as well as doing patrols and after our call-outs. And I'm actually the president of another little group, Sailability, in Illawarra, where we look after disabled sailors.
We drive the rescue boat.
So yeah, quite a handful.
Yeah, you guys are right across your community. It's fantastic to be contributing so much to your community.
The house suffers.
Yeah.
The physical house suffers, but yeah.
But we love it. We try to get as much into pistol shooting as we can. Like I was saying earlier, the drive can be a little bit taxing, wasting a couple of hours either side to get to the range, but when we're there, we enjoy it. Great people at Campbelltown.
They teach you a lot too. All the guys on there, Bobby Chalker, Jeff, and
Ray.
And they're such great guys.
You've just finished your 50 metre. How'd you go, Jason?
50 metre, yeah, it wasn't too bad a hit. Not my best, but certainly fairly well placed. I think I may have dragged in second.
Usually we go toe for toe in most of our events, and it's usually a few points either side of it.
The shoot station gets tossed.
And mum and daughter going toe to toe on the 10 metre women's final, coming up in about an hour's time.
She better watch out. I'm getting her heels.
It's very exciting actually, to both make the final. So I suffer nerves terribly. She doesn't. So it's. I'm actually so pleased for her. She's buckling down and doing it in leaps and bounds. So it's good.
Do you find that you're a tennis player and you do other sports, like it helps calm the nerves? Are you sort of feeling confident when you step up to the line and just get into it?
I think I learned from a young age that everyone's in the same spot as me. They're all going to be nervous, so there's no point you being nervous too if everyone else is, and plus I do it for fun. Like even tennis, I just play for the enjoyment part, not necessarily the win. She's more of the winner, I'm more of the enjoyment part. So she's usually on the sidelines yelling at me, and I'm just having fun, like singing songs in my head, which I do while I shoot. I'm always singing a different song, but it'll be fun.
I'm very competitive, so it doesn't matter what I do, it's always a race.
And it'll be fun to, she's shooting right next to me, I have to pull face
We are
out
the same
the entire
next to
time.
each other, so it'll be interesting.
Bit of banter on the line.
Bit of banter.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's how Campbelltown knows us all. We're the loudest people that go there, so when people
Look
see them
out,
with
here
us.
come the noise.
Fantastic. What's your favourite match?
Favourite match, definitely rapid fire, because I can shoot as fast as I want, and I can shoot 5 targets at once.
You like that, like doing the rapid fire down to 4 seconds? So.
Oh, not 4 seconds, I do 2 second series. Every match shoot is in 2 seconds.
That's probably true. I mix, I sort of do a bit of everything. I do like sport, the women's sport match probably the best, followed by air, but I never ask for equality. 60 shots in air, very taxing.
Jason, your favourite match?
I do like the centre fire, although I find it frustrating, but probably overall air pistol, and then I do like to try and match the air pistol with free pistol. Very similar matches, but I do like the sports pistol match.
And Alyssa, you've decided out of your tennis you're going to be concentrating a bit more on your pistol, so you want to sort of take this as far as you can, get up into some development squads, take it as far as you go, maybe aspire to go to the national development squad in the future?
Yeah, that'd be great. Like, my brother was pretty good, so my biggest goal is to try to get in front of him and beat his scores, which will be a bit challenging, but no, I love to take any opportunity I can get hold of. Like, the junior camp was one opportunity I had, and I took it very graciously and took a lot out of it, so anything that comes up I'm happy to go for.
Well, Angela, another finalist here in the women's 10 metre. Your first ever final in your pistol career. It must be pretty exciting.
It's quite chilling. It gives you chills, you know, just thinking that you actually got in here. I actually was just shooting my free pistol. I didn't even know that I was actually shooting. So when I was having a good chat with one of the gentlemen there, and they came and said you actually wanted over in air pistol for the finals. I'm like, oh really? Okay. I better get my gear and get over there.
Yeah, you put in some good shots, and there's a nice bit of banter with the crowd. We're supporting you.
Oh yes, definitely. It is extremely nerve-wracking. You'd like to think that you could just enjoy it, but it is very, very nerve-wracking. Did learn one lesson though, is when a good song comes on, don't start tapping your feet or moving. It just can throw you right off.
Okay, I saw you doing a little bit of hand movement there with a bit of the crowd supporting you and cheering for you, so you look like you were having fun.
Yeah, well, that was the middle of it. I think, you know, I survived a few eliminations, and I thought I could get there and enjoy it, and I knew that I wasn't going to make it any further, so I thought, no, make the best of it.
Excellent. Agnes Verstegen, first air final and first sport pistol final yesterday. You've had a very good championship.
Yes, thank you. It was very enjoyable.
How did you find the experience here in the air shed? It was fairly tense.
It was, but it was great camaraderie, and we just enjoyed ourselves. Yeah.
Well done. That's a big boost for your shooting to make 2 finals.
Yeah, it was. Since being my first finals, it was great.
Well done, Bella. Making the final. Is that your first state championship in air pistol?
Third.
Winning the final here today. Lara, you had it at one point, and then Bella stole it back off you again. It was a really tight final. It was a great well done.
Job.
And Sue again lining up here in the medals as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Well done, ladies. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. Congratulations to the New South Wales state title winners. Good luck going forward to the National Championships. I'd like to thank Brian Cheers and the New South Wales Amateur Pistol Association for allowing us to come and film your state titles. Pat Zeppieri in the office there, also a great supporter. Thank you to the Wagga Pistol Club. Fantastic hospitality. Really enjoyed our time there in Wagga Wagga. And a special shout out to Chris Burton for supplying all the drone footage you've enjoyed at the start and the end of the show. I'm Mike on behalf of the team here at the Pistol Australia Range Report. If you enjoy the content, please like and share on social media, grow the following, and we'll see you at the range very, very soon. Bye for now.